See, in your model, you have to say what I think ridiculous things like the aqueducts are curved. I mean, the first time I've ever heard that. No disrespect, Matthew, but you really think that they're curved?
Yes, of course.
How? How would you be able to prove that?
Oh, it's based on my preconceived notion that the Earth is a ball, and so that level places of equal altitude are curved. Sea level is curved, for example.
Okay, so it's based on a preconceived notion. Okay, I can't argue with that. At least you're admitting it. It's like you just basically think it's that way because you believe you live on a globe.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's why everybody thinks that. There's nobody who thinks that we've gone out there and directly measured it like that.
Yeah, but everybody knows, like we agreed, that in order for water to flow, it needs to be elevated at one point, right? If it's level, the water cannot flow. We agreed to that.
That's right. But words like elevated and level need to be defined precisely. So because we mean different things by those words.
That's right. Yeah, you guys change meaning of words. Yeah, you have multiple, and you're able to interchange them at will. That's where one of the biggest issues come in, I think.
Yeah, so you'd need to make sure that you're talking about the same thing. That's why you could use different words and say stuff like, oh, are they in a perfectly straight line or not? Or are they the same distance from a hypothetical center of the Earth on a sphere or not? But it's usually easier just to use the word level.
Yeah, well, look, when the majority of the people, I believe, I don't want to speak for everybody, when they think of level, like they think of a spirit level. Go over to Home Depot and you buy yourself a level, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
Now, let me ask you something. When you place the level on the ground, right?
Uh-huh.
And you level, you have the bubble in the middle there, you level it out. Let's say you have a 6-foot level. Is one end of that level and the other end of the level, what's the relationship?
They're at the same elevation.
They're at the same elevation. Okay.
Yeah, they're level.
So that's level, right?
Yeah,
Straight
and on
line.
the small scale, like 6 feet or building buildings, you don't really need to make a difference or a distinction because the difference between those two definitions is negligible.
Okay, fair enough. So if I was to start sticking now different spirit levels next to each other, will that still be considered level?
So it's probably close enough if you're building a building. The question is, if you put a spirit level in Los Angeles and another one in San Diego and another one in New York, are they pointing the same direction? And we ballers say they're not because the direction of down is different in those three cities.
Well, that would be my next question. So how many of those spirit levels would it take before we start seeing a curve?
Depends on how precise they are because every spirit level is going to be slightly different depending on the distance to the other one. And eventually you get far away enough that it would be a different, the difference would be noticeable, like New York and Los Angeles, for example. But maybe not Los Angeles and Long Beach or something, a couple miles away.
So what you're saying is, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what you're saying is if I keep stacking spirit levels, 6-foot spirit levels, right next to each other on a level, would they eventually come around and meet themselves on the other side?
Right. Uh-huh.
So that is what you're saying. You're saying if I
yeah.
go to Home Depot and I buy 100,000, whatever, 1,000,000 spirit levels, and I put them side by side, eventually they'll form a circle.
Right.
Okay. As long as everybody heard that,
I
at
don't
least
think
you're
anybody
admitting it.
disagrees with it. I mean, it's not like it's something that I'm ashamed to admit. That's just the heliocentric model. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, thank you, Matthew.
Yeah, because what a spirit level does is it shows you the direction of horizontal at a particular point. So wherever it is, it's like 90 degrees from straight down.
No, I understand single point geometry. I understand fully how you think. Trust me, but at least you're admitting it, and everybody could get to hear it. So thank you very much for being honest, bro. I mean, what else could I say? Thank you.
Yeah, happy to help.
Just got to tap it out.
Yeah, so you guys heard it. You guys heard it. Spirit levels side by side from Home Depot. Eventually, they'll form a circle. This is how they think. So, how could you argue with this? Like, what can you say to this? Well, I mean,
Yeah, that's where I'm finding myself at a roadblock with